Daryl Horgan is a curious case. Signed for the Championship, yet performed poorly in League One for Stevenage. What's going on? So, Daryl Horgan has been training with Wycombe Wanderers after being released from his contract, and he played last night against Wealdstone. Now, when it was announced Daryl Horgan was leaving at the end of the contract, I was sad, a little bit disappointed, but I wasn't shocked. He hasn't played well at the club. He joined us in the Championship and didn't do particularly well. He played for us in League One and didn't do particularly well, and he joined Stevenage and didn't do particularly well. And I thought it was a very clear, open and shut case. But I attended the match last night in Wealdstone, and Daryl Horgan came on in the second half. And he did something that I was not expecting. He impressed me. The way he played, his ability to dribble, his ability to pass, find the right space, find a player, and even get a couple of very good shots off, is opened up a new angle for me to look at and go, does Daryl Horgan deserve another chance? Because he has had 2.5 seasons under Gareth Ainsworth. So let's have a look at those 2.5 seasons. He was not here when Matt Bloomfield joined. He was on loan. So he joined from Hibernian in 2020. He joined in September for around a fee of 50k on a reported 7k a week. Championship money and championship wages for who was supposed to be a quality player. He scored on his debut in the Carabao Cup versus Brentford, which is a great way to endear yourself to the fans. But in 40 appearances in the Championship, he got no goals and just 2 assists, as he struggled to really make an impact in Ainsworth's system. Part of the problem was we didn't really seem to know where to play him. Did he play on the wing? Did he play in the centre? Did he play as a wing back? Nobody really knew. In League One, he played 37 games in the 21-22 season, in which he got 1 goal and 5 assists. Not a terrible performance, but in 11 games in the 22-23 season, he got no goals and no assists. To be fair, he did seem to struggle with personal issues, which does explain some underperformance, but not 3 seasons of underperformance. But he was playing in Ainsworth's system, where he constantly looked like he didn't really know what to do. But under Bloomfield yesterday night, every time he got the ball, he moved with a clarity of purpose. He made some great runs, he made some great passes, he had some good shots on target. Every time he got the ball, I looked at it and went, he's going to try and do something here. Which is not something that we're used to saying about Daryl Horgan. So I just want to do this video quickly to sort of think about, do we offer him a new contract? What would he potentially bring to the Chairboys? Well, first of all, in the 21-22 season in League One, he made 71% of his passes accurately, which is a very high rating for an attacking player. He made 56% of his successful dribbles, and both these things seem to be things that Gareth didn't really potentially want, but Bloomfield does. Especially the passing. What we've seen with passing styles at Arsenal, at Aldershot, at Wealdstone, is he's looking for a bit more intricate passing play, a bit more build-up, often focusing it down the wings and creating overlaps, which Daryl Horgan was doing very well in that second half. He linked up with the trialist striker very, very well. He linked up with other players like Jack Young, who also had an exceptional game. So, where would he play? Well, the main role we particularly think of Daryl Horgan is in the centre attacking mid position. But he is capable of playing on the wings, which gives us, we don't seem to be playing with wingers, but he gives us an option to play in those. He can also play in the left and right wing back position. And that's one of the key factors that makes me interested. He's a quick player, he's tenacious, he's good in the press. He would be good as an overlapping wing back, I believe. I don't believe he'd be starting by any stance, but I think coming off the bench or being that squad depth player would make him a useful contribution. One of the things I've constantly said these past 2 or 3 seasons is that Wycombe have always had a strong 11, but pretty poor squad depth. You look at the bench, you look at who we have, there wasn't really that great. Compare it to Ipswich, for example. Somebody gets injured at Ipswich, they have somebody who can come in and it's nearly the same quality. Chris Freno gets injured, Tafazoli gets injured, Scowen or Wing or Vokes gets injured, and we don't have the quality replacements that can really step in that first team and just go out and play in the same manner the original player would, which is something we do seem to be doing this year. We now have 6 senior centre-backs, for example. We have JJ, Grimmer, Kyo, Chris, Taffa, Low. In the centre mid is one of the weakest areas, but we still do have Scowen, Young who's improving a lot, I believe, Wheeler, Leahy at left, so on and so forth. But Horgan would give us a player who could play in a number of positions. I think you could technically ask Horgan to play as a centre mid. And I do believe the potential is there to have him turn into a David Wheeler-esque player, master of none, but very good at just plopping, just, here lad, can you play it right back? Sure, why not? And it would be useful to have somebody like that. 2 jack of all trades means that we have 2 very good players who can slot into a number of positions and play them well. It was not something I expected to be saying or recording or anything before I went to the match yesterday, but I was very, very impressed. He was in my top 3 players yesterday, to be honest with you. And do we look at him now and go, well, he's a known quality. We know what he knows the club. We know he knows the club. We know he's a good fit for the team. Do we bring him back in? I think the major concern would potentially be his wage demand. He was on 7k a week. But if we got it down to 2 or 3k, I wouldn't say no. I don't believe he'll be starting, but I believe he could be very useful and contribute from the bench. So I think before the game, I did a poll, and I believe the majority of people, a slim majority, but a majority nonetheless, said they wouldn't take him back. I may won another one, but I think after the Wealdstone game, people who watched him would be a bit more receptive to him coming back. And I do wonder if him playing in a Wealdstone game was a test almost to see how he gets on in the system and see how the fans react to it. So, it's not the most exciting signing. Well, re-signing. But it's not a unknown quantity. Willian did the same at Fulham. It was announced he was leaving, and then a month later, they agreed a contract to extend. Well, to re-sign him, essentially, because his contract expires. So, it's not an easy one, Daryl Horgan. But I think it's an interesting quandary. He's a clear player of quality. He's played for some good teams, Preston North End, Hibernians. There's a reason Gareth Ainsworth, rarely failed at transfers, brought him into Wycombe Wanderers. Perhaps Bloomfield's new system could get that quality out of him. He played for the Irish national team after all. So, it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm not particularly on... I'd be happy to see him back, but at the same time, if we don't offer him a contract, I'll be like, okay, I understand that. But let me know what you think. I'll see a lot of you, hopefully, at JJ's testimonial this weekend. I saw some of these yesterday at Wealdstone, but otherwise, have a great day, Wanderers.